it end, Daria?
Since this is my first Daria video, I should probably explain the basics of the show. IMDb describes it as, quote, a smart and cynical girl goes through teenage life as a proud outsider in a world of mainly idiotic adolescents and condescending adults. I'd say that's a fairly accurate summation of the show. For this episode, you mostly just need to know Daria, her sister Quinn, their parents Helen and Jake, the fashion club which consists of Quinn, Sandy, Stacy, and Tiffany, and Daria's best friend Jane. Today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 9, titled Too Cute. The episode begins with a seemingly beat-up and otherwise disheveled Kevin saying hi to random people on the street. Quinn, on the left, approaches Sandy in the hallway, and they both notice a growing crowd down the hallway. They both go over to investigate. A handful of girls are complimenting another girl on her new nose job. This girl, Brooke, explains to the group that she told the doctor that she wanted cute, but not too cute. Since I am not, nor was I ever, a teenage girl, this distinction is a bit lost on me, but oh well. Conceptually I get the premise, I just don't know what that means in practical terms. Sandy reassures her and tells her it's cute, but not obnoxious about it. Quinn examines the nose for herself, a quinspection if you will, and tells her it's cute. This is apparently not the reaction Brooke was looking for, as she disappointedly asks, just cute? Sandy and Quinn's subsequent argument then catches Brooke in the crossfire as she gets increasingly insecure about her new nose. If you planned on taking a drink every time they said the word cute, you would have passed out by now, so don't do that. I think Sandy is one of my least favorite characters in the show, but that's its own video. Sandy then calls Daria over, this being one of the earliest instances of the running gag that Quinn has told everyone at the school that Daria is her cousin when in reality she is her sister. Helen, Daria and Quinn's mom, gets to the core of the matter at the dinner table after Quinn's retelling of the cute debate, asking what was wrong with Brooke's old nose, to which Quinn explains that it wasn't cute, saying it had an extra bone. We then get an interesting speech from Helen, where she both acknowledges having some reservations about cosmetic surgery, but also sees value in it, a begrudging value based on a double standard and unfair circumstances obviously. I just don't like the idea of you girls talking about cosmetic surgery. Maybe when you're older and you're doing it for yourself or there's a sound professional reason for it. I mean, you need to be presentable. Yes, it's a double standard, but women in business are judged on their looks and there's no getting around that. Jake, Daria and Quinn's father, then gets roped into the conversational minefield that's currently occurring, and he plays the sensible card, which is to take no stance whatsoever and compliment everyone. Smart man. The next morning we see Quinn's nose insecurity continues as she is inspecting her nose and growing more frustrated. Next we cut to Kevin in Miss Barch's class, where she's asking him how he fared at greeting people with his, quote, special ugly face, as she puts it, and then asks, and so what does this experiment teach us about how the perception of attractiveness affects human behavior? Brittany, Kevin's girlfriend and the person the question was posed to, doesn't answer the question, but this question gets a bit at the heart of the episode. Daria gets called to the front office and moments later we see Daria and Quinn on a bus. I'm touched. Not only did you get out of class by faking sick, but you convinced the nurse to let your sister take you home. Of course, we don't appear to be going home. I need you to be my alibi. Generally, you don't want your alibi to be a witness at the scene of the crime. I just need you here, okay? Okay. Why? Why what? Why me and not one of your hundreds of friends? I need, someone who's known me for a while and who's like that thing. What thing? You know, honest. Don't tell anyone. There's a nice small character moment where Daria presses Quinn on why she picked her, to which Quinn tries to come up with any reason other than saying she trusts her and or values her opinion. It's fair to say that these two have a fairly strained relationship, but they both seem to accept it, which in a sense seems healthier than faking it. They lead different lives, and that's okay. Even before entering the store, we are met with the terrifying visage of someone who appears to have received so many cosmetic surgeries they no longer seem human. Since this is an animated show, I'm free to make fun of someone's appearance without reservation. This Dr. Shar is off-putting. There's also a bit of subtle commentary in the waiting room, as it consists of 7 girls and 2 guys, reinforcing how often girls and women are targeted because of insecurities they may have about their looks, and how it may affect them so much they're willing to go to drastic lengths, such as elective surgery, to, quote, fix it. Dr. Shar asks what they are there for, and Quinn says it's for her nose. Surprisingly, Dr. Shar says her nose is fine and she wouldn't change a thing about it. Unsurprisingly, she wants to explore other cosmetic surgery options for Quinn, including cheekbones, lips, 2 rounds of dimples, adding a mole, and a hair change. Long story short, Quinn's new treatment for the low price of $6,000 can get her the face of handsome Squidward. As they are leaving, Dr. Shar also gives an interesting speech. Quinn, honey, I like your attitude. You're open to life's possibilities. I try to be. But you, Daria, I hate to see a young lady give up on herself at such an early age. I don't consider rejecting the Dr. Frankenstein approach giving up. It puts a frown on my face, and I don't like having a frown on my face. Maybe you can inject collagen into your lips in the shape of a smile. Change your attitude, hun. Change your life. And remember, money can make anyone look beautiful. Money can make anyone beautiful is pretty much Dr. Shar's whole shtick in a nutshell. Her scam laid bare. Back on the bus, we see how helpful this doctor's visit was. I'm a mess, and it will cost $6,000 to fix. You're not going to take that woman seriously, are you? She earns her living making people feel bad about their looks. You're just mad because she figured you out. Dr. Shar is really smart about people. Gwen says she's a mess and it will cost $6,000 to fix her. All she went in for was a nose job, which, according to everyone she's asked, she doesn't need, and now she's left with a list of multiple cosmetic surgeries and whatnot for a steep price. Daria then relays the story to her best friend Jane. Quinn returns to Sandy, Stacy, and Tiffany and is mad that they got nose jobs without her. This doesn't go much of anywhere other than Sandy continuing to try to ostracize Quinn. Then Brooke shows up having undergone a liposuction this time and injected lips. Brooke then tries to join the fashion club that Quinn, Sandy, Stacy, and Tiffany run now that she's cute. I think Brooke's second round of surgeries compounded with the rest of the fashion club getting nose jobs is what really pushed Quinn over the edge here. At times she seemed a bit on the fence or hesitant, but now she seems bound and determined to pay her way to beauty.
Daria, I need to... Shoo!
I need to borrow $6,000. I don't have $6,000. It's an emergency. Well, if it's an emergency, here's what you do. Tell Mom and Dad that Dr. Shar says you need human growth hormones. They'll believe that. I would. But instead, Dr. Shar will do me and charge them for you, and you'll probably grow anyway. Good plan, but what makes you think Dr. Shar is going to go for this? It was her idea. I can't have this on my conscience. You don't have a conscience. What I meant to say was I don't feel like it. You've got to. Where else am I going to get $6,000? Take up a collection? How kind of Dr. Shar to come up with the perfect solution for Quinn. Lie about Daria needing human growth hormones and then use the cash to cover Quinn's surgeries. Anything to get the check, apparently. I don't think Quinn has thought this through at all. If nothing else, that her parents might have a few questions if she showed up one day looking significantly different. What's weirdest to me in this scene upon rewatch is Daria asking if Dr. Shar would even go for this scheme. From a writing perspective, I get it as a feeder line to get Quinn to explain that it was actually Dr. Shar's idea. From a character perspective, it doesn't seem in character for Daria to say this. Yes, she's not above shooting down other people's ideas, but a point like Dr. Shar won't go for it seems like a point you make if you were even remotely considering something, not the more reasonable, no, we're not going to scam our parents out of $6,000 for surgeries you don't need. It just seems weird to me that Daria is thinking this ludicrous plan through at all. Perhaps it's a vain attempt to convince Quinn that this plan won't work. Also, is that a picture of the Hindenburg on Daria's locker? That's on brand for her. Quinn, taking Jane's joke at face value, rushes off to start a collection. It doesn't go well. She basically doesn't get any money, and once again returns to Daria for advice.
You don't need any plastic surgery. You're perfect.
Then Stacy and Tiffany come back and report a disastrous nasal relapse that Brooke had. Why Quinn had Daria go with her, I have a few theories. One is simply that she was scared. Surgery's an intimidating thing. 2 is she doesn't want cosmetic surgery and wants Daria to talk her out of it somehow. 3 is more convoluted, so I don't give it much weight. But if Quinn wanted to play the long con, she'd get Daria involved by having her come with, hoping Daria would tell their parents. Then if her parents forbid it, or whatever, she then has the excuse to not get a nose job or other cosmetic surgeries. This theory doesn't bear much fruit as Quinn tries to borrow $6,000 from Daria later, but that was after the visit with Dr. Shar where she was all too ready to point out everything, quote, wrong with Quinn. Regardless, it doesn't seem like she wanted an excuse, if nothing else, given how unforgiving the fashion club is. At its core, I think she needed someone she trusted in that moment, and she chose Daria. It is a little disappointing to feel like no one in the fashion club really learned anything from this whole debacle, and it feels a bit vindictive beyond the point of poetic justice for Brooke to presumably end up worse off than before. Since we don't see any of it, it lessens the blow, which in a sense is good, but also lessens the impact of this episode as a cautionary tale. When it comes to cartoons exploring the vampiric nature of the looks industry, this episode is right up there with the Phineas and Ferb episode, Attack of the 50-Foot Sister, from Season 2, Episode 3, in which Candace calls out two people for exploiting people's insecurities for money. She says, quote, "Wait a second, I just realized something. You both make money off people's natural insecurities. You show people oddballs to make them feel better about themselves, and you make beauty totally unattainable so they'll feel worse about themselves." It's certainly a more on-the-nose explanation of what both these episodes are going for, but seeing as the global cosmetics market was valued at $354.68 billion in 2025, it doesn't seem like everyone's taken the message to heart. That said, I don't think either of these episodes are anti-makeup or anything like that. It's more the endless pursuit of a perfect appearance under the delusion that then you'll be popular, happy, fulfilled, loved, etc., and that if you throw enough money at it, it will come true that they're arguing against. That and pointing out the exploitative nature of cosmetic surgery and other businesses in a similar vein. Taking advantage of those insecure about their appearance, often made more insecure about their appearance by said businesses, and willing to pay any price because of it. Regardless, I do like the small character moments of Daria and Quinn on the bus to Dr. Shar, and Daria's attempt to convince Quinn that she doesn't need surgery at the end of the episode. Despite usually being fairly antagonistic toward each other, every once in a while, they are able to set aside their differences and help each other. Daria certainly doesn't have to say this to her. It's not like Quinn has $6,000, but she does it anyway. It's an episode with a point to make, and equally important, it has some heart to it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more cartoon character moments, obscure comic book characters, and more.